Good afternoon. We are live with Sovereign Commercial Services, updating with our podcast. Today is July 31st, 2018. I am Lynn with the People and Culture Department, and joining me again is Ivan Mofiti.
I'm back.
Ivan, welcome back. I'm glad that you're able to sit in with me again today. So what we wanted to talk about a little bit today with our listeners is share with them a little bit more about our positions at Sovereign. So the first two podcasts that we had over the past few weeks, we talked about our associates. We also brought in David, one of our trainers. We talked with you a little bit about your role with the company. So before we selected another associate to sit in with us, which we'll do in a few days, we thought we would share with our listeners a little bit about Sovereign's positions. What we have that's on the board right now that we're looking for, obviously with a lot of companies in the area, they're looking for team members to join their company. And Sovereign is too. We're no different. We have a lot of opportunities. I think a lot of our listeners or associates might not even realize how many people we have working with us. So I think right now, we currently have, I think, Ivan, what would it be?
We have over 250 associates located throughout northeastern PA, New York. We have accounts in Gettysburg, Binghamton, Lancaster, Allentown, part-time and full-time positions.
So we have grown, for those of you that don't know about Sovereign, from the time that I started here, which was 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. That we have more than quadrupled our workforce, and that just shows you a lot about Sovereign, why we've done so well and people joining our team. And we actually still have a very small percentage, but we do have a selected group of individuals still with us
from the beginning, yes.
Which is it's an amazing wonderful thing that we can still share that experience with them, and they're still with the company, part and full time we have. So I wanted to talk with you, Ivan. Let's just talk a little bit about, because you're involved in the recruiting and you're interviewing and selecting just like Marvin and myself for Sovereign. So I wanted to share and talk to you a little bit about the job openings we have and the process, and hopefully it'll help our listeners be a little bit more at ease if they're not applying with us yet, or they know someone, one of our associates knows somebody, they've went through the process, so they already know what it entails.
Right.
But as far as the positions that we have, you talked about them being all over the board as far as in northeastern PA and Allentown and New York and Pottsville. So we actually range about over 100-mile radius.
Yes, we do.
From our main office in Clark Summit to our recruiting office in Scranton to where we service.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal, because a lot of our associates may not even know that when they come on board with us.
Right.
They might think, okay, well, I'm working at my one position in Scranton. Well, little do they know, there's 100 plus other people.
Exactly. I know a lot of times when people call me, they say, you're in Scranton. No, that's too far for me. And I have to explain to them that we have accounts all over. So we probably have something close to you.
So when they're calling here, they might think, well, why am I calling Scranton? Well, that's just because our recruiting office is in Scranton. That's all. But we pick up, we leave, we recruit all over the place. Marvin's out today in Schuylkill County. We're actually recruiting out in that area today. And then I think he's also in Pottsville. And then you're going to be in Schuylkill County again tomorrow. So where are you going to be tomorrow?
Tomorrow I am going to be at the Schuylkill County Fair from noon until 6 p.m. So come by, stop, have a good time at the fair, and stop by our booth.
And that is technically when this will air will be today, but that'll be tomorrow, which will be August 1st.
Right.
And then every week we're at different locations, so we always post those. So for anybody that's interested in finding out where we're at, look at our Facebook page. That'll tell you, or you can actually call Ivan or Marvin.
That's right.
In the office. And again, just tell them how to reach you. What's the number again?
570-343-8546, extension 191. And Marvin's extension is 179.
Great. So let's talk about one of the big items on our board. And we called them our A-team.
Right.
And you had a lot of experience working with our facility assistants and facility associates and our facility specialists. Mm-hmm. But the A-team, which we call, is our facility assistants.
Right.
And that is a unique group of individuals that work for us
Very
from the
unique.
standpoint that they have to go everywhere.
Every account we have, they have to be able to travel to and cover if needed.
Okay. If you can tell our listeners, tell a little bit about what the FA team does. And that includes the specialists too. Our specialists are what we call our individuals that work like floor care work,
Our floor
right?
techs, yeah.
Floor techs. So our FA team, what's so exciting about being an FA team member?
Well, the one thing about being an FA team member is every day is different. So what they actually do, all the accounts that we just talked about that we have in such a far range, if we have an opening where there's somebody that may have left a position in Lancaster, we still have to send somebody to clean that building. So what our FA team does, anytime we have an opening, whether someone left, whether someone is off for the day, or if somebody's on vacation, we still have to cover that site. And what they do is they have to be really flexible enough to be able to go from this account to that account. They may go to one account for the whole night, or they may go to 4 or 5 different ones. Sometimes they may work in the morning, sometimes they may work in the evening, but they have to be flexible and available whenever there's an opening.
And that FA team, obviously they start at a higher pay rate.
Yes, they do.
And they're usually ranging anywhere from, I think, $12 to $14 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
depending on experience and locations. And obviously the specialists of the floor care earn a little bit more money too. But they need to have, preferably, they have to have their own car.
Right, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know we pay mileage and travel time.
yes, we do.
40 hours a week plus.
Mm-hmm.
So they can actually potentially earn
Yes.
quite a bit of money
Yes, they can.
because of the overtime involved.
The further they go, the more they make. So
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
And
Yeah.
we do have FA positions in certain territories too, so they're not always traveling. I know we're looking in Pottsville, we're looking in New York, and we're looking in Lancaster. So not necessarily do they have to be coming from Wilkes-Barre or the Scranton area,
Right.
but we are looking for individuals out in those territories
To
too.
travel to the different accounts we have there.
Okay. And then the FA team, which is really a nice benefit, is they have a sign-on bonus.
That's right. They have $1,000 sign-on bonus. So anyone there looking for some good money, you're going to get a good pay, and you're going to get a bonus after 90 days, $1,000 if you sign on with us.
Okay. We also offer two. I know we don't have a tremendous team in our transport van,
Right.
but we do have locally a transport van for FA team members. So if somebody is not able to have their own vehicle,
Right.
but still willing to do the second shift position, they earn a little bit, not as much as somebody with their own vehicle, but we'll provide the transportation.
They just have to be able to get to our office where they can be
Right.
picked up and dropped off
Okay.
each evening.
And then, so that's also another second shift full-time job. Still same thing, $1,000 sign-on bonus. Okay.
yeah.
So the FA, FS positions, I mean, obviously if anyone's interested in learning more about those, definitely call Ivan or Marvin, and they can help you with that. And our management team is always here. Our trainers are here. They're knowledgeable. They really do want to make sure that your experience here at Sovereign is one that is memorable, and again, opportunities for all,
That's right.
our core values. And the application process. So obviously those associates that are working with us now know what the process is. So when an application comes through and somebody applies either online or in the recruiting office, or faxes it in at one of the career links, they can do that too. A lot of people still don't have computers today or printers,
right,
and we
yeah.
know we get those phone calls. But you can always go right to a career link
Mm-hmm.
and apply right there, and they'll be more than happy to submit it for you. Or when we're at a career link, we can always pick it up. But when an employee, or I'm sorry, when an associate does apply, the process is, can you walk me through that real
Yes.
quick?
So once we get the application, what we do is we'll review the application. We'll look at that person's skill set and their work history and see if there's something that may be a fit for what we have. So after that process, what we will do is we'll call them and we'll do a phone screen. After talking to them, if we see something that may be an immediate match or we have something that might be a fit for them, we would have them come in for an in-person interview. From that in-person interview, we can get more information and it can give us a better idea of if they would be a good fit with Sovereign, if we have an opportunity for them. If they are selected for a position we may have open, there's also a process where We do walkthroughs at all our accounts so that any applicant can see the job that they're going to do before they accept it. And we also, all of our applicants have to pass a background, and some of our accounts require a drug screen. So once going through all that process and they're selected for a position, and then we start the first day of when they're hired. We do new hire paperwork with them, which is a lot of video training. We actually have a qualified trainers that work with them 2 days at the account when they start. So it's not like we're putting them in an account and they're on their own. We're going to work with them for 2 days to make sure that they know everything that they're doing. And then on the third day, the manager will follow up with them just to give them the ins and outs of the account to make sure they're comfortable. We do a 2-week follow-up. We do a 30-day follow-up, a 60 and a 90. But when they first start, we do give them a lot of support through management and trainers just to make sure that their transition into this new role is going to be good for them.
And I know that's one of the things that Sovereign does really well is we're making sure that when we bring a new associate in, that we do integrate them and we make sure that they are taken care of. And I know we've talked about that in the past. But I think it's helpful to know that we do have a process and we do follow the process. And we want to be fair to everyone. And what's nice about that is the walkthroughs. And I think that's something that we are able to give our potential associates an opportunity to actually see what they're going to be doing. So then we see if it's a good fit. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes they're surprised at what they're actually going to be doing. And that's okay, because maybe for that specific account that they had the walkthrough at, we've actually changed it and found them something else.
Right.
And, we try to accommodate the best we can to their needs, their times, and the flexibilities and things that we can do. Sometimes we can change those depending on what jobs we have open.
And I just wanted to add one thing I forgot to add. Even if you don't have cleaning experience doing commercial cleaning, we have, like I said, a very good training staff. So if you have the drive and you're willing to learn, we can train you on our cleaning in our buildings. And also if you're interested in our floor work position, our floor techs, we can train you on that also.
Great. Well, I wanted to share with the listeners, and I think we did that. Hopefully it gives them a little bit more insight as why they should come on board with Sovereign, a little bit about the background. Again, if you are interested or you know someone that's interested, we also have a referral bonus. So any of our associates that are listening to this, don't forget you have a referral bonus. If you refer someone and we hire them, you'll also receive $250 after they complete their 90 days. We have many opportunities. We sometimes don't always have a good fit. We can't promise a job to everybody because sometimes, we just don't have that kind of a match or the location or the times that they're looking for. But applications will stay on hand for 90 days. Yes. So we have gone back and called people and said, well, we do have something now. So that's actually a great opportunity. Again, if you're interested, apply with Sovereign online at sovereigncs.com. We thank you for your time. Thank you for your referrals. We thank you to all of our associates. Ivan, it's always a pleasure when you walk in my office and we can talk. Okay. And we'll catch you on the next podcast with another associate working with Sovereign Commercial Services. Let's work together. Sovereign is the equal opportunity employer and drug-free workplace.